I I'd just like to talk about expectations and attachments. So expectations are fine. They're fine. Some people think we shouldn't have expectations, but that isn't exactly true. What's the world in this world, we do need to have expectations as such. I expect to be alive this evening. I expect to see my family later, whom I live with. I expect the shop to be open on the Monday to Friday, etc. What we shouldn't be, if we want to avoid suffering, is to be attached to our expectations. Being attached to an expectation or being attached to anything causes suffering. Hmm. When we're attached to something and it doesn't work out the way we want it to work out, the way we expect it to work out, we get disappointed, we get upset, we get angry, we get distraught, we get shaken, we get stressed, and and if it doesn't work out as good as we hoped it would work out, it's the same thing except maybe just to a lesser degree. So an expectation can either completely be not fulfilled if it doesn't happen or doesn't work out the way we want, or it can be partially unfulfilled, and that is to say it does happen but just to a lesser extent than the way we wanted it to happen. For example, if I wanted the person to be, if I expected them to be really excited or really friendly, or if I expected them to respond in a particular manner, but it was only half as much or less than the way I expected. Ideally, we can expect things but just be unattached to the outcome. We can be open to all possibilities but attached to none. So we're ready and okay if what we expect doesn't happen. Now we can refresh the moment and we can see what can be done in this moment. There's a new opportunity. It's okay that it didn't happen. Um, we can still immediately um, work towards our preferences, and if what we expected is our preference, we can still try and make that happen. If we want to, if we have a plan or an arrangement with somebody and they say they don't want to go, we can try and convince them to go, which is working towards our preference. We don't have to demand and put emotional pressure on them that they go, but we can ask them to go, and they can know that we're not demanding if we say it to them or express it this way. We can express and share how much we'd love to do something or how much we'd love something to happen. And we can convince and convince and convince and convince maybe, and again, still demanding or pressure. And they can say no and it's fine, and it can be a smile and a laugh or whatever else. A lot of this is connected with not judging something to be bad. We can know it's not our preference and work towards changing the situation towards our preference. But when we judge something where it's like there's an inner resistance and we're calling it maybe terrible or calling somebody or the situation awful, really bad, terrible, shouldn't be happening, shouldn't be this way. Why did this happen? Why are they doing this? Why? All the why? All that and all that, this shouldn't be or they should be. All that's inner resistance to what is. We don't need that to work towards our preference. We can accept it the way it is at the moment, inwardly accept the way it is at the moment, and still work harmoniously towards our preference. If our preference cannot be worked to anymore, for example, we're expecting to take out a lot of money we need for the holiday, going to the bank, and the bank is closed. We can't make it open. We can try something new, a new bank, or maybe ask somebody for a loan or something like that. But we don't need to start name calling and judging the bank and judging all these people. Life can be harmonious. I think Jesus or somebody said, in all things be thankful. Conversations with God. Neil Donald Walsh, I think he says, happiness is not getting what you want, but wanting what you get. There's a reason why things happen, even if we don't know it, even if we don't know the reason. Amma, the beautiful Indian hugging saint, whom I love so much, she said, the way children, they see the sunrise come up and it's beautiful, and they don't know where it's coming from, and then the sun goes down and they're like, oh, they don't know why it's gone away, and they could easily judge it as bad, or in their not understanding that it's all for a reason and it comes back up again. Similarly, adults, when something happens, they don't understand the reasoning behind it, and they can so quick to judge it as bad. But there's often evolution happens in the forward direction, and even our most hardest and disastrous times in our lives, pretty much everybody eventually always says that was one of their greatest blessings, and that they expanded and learned so much and went forward and went to new heights and new levels. That's with me as well. Evolution doesn't go backwards, but it's more like a spiraling. It's constantly forward, but sometimes it may be a downward spiral, and that's when things are going bad in our world. We think it's like bad, but really it's still in the forward progression for our soul's journey. That's the way I believe it anyway, and it makes sense as well. So I mentioned that so we can go with the flow of what life brings us, and we don't need to judge it as so bad like we often do. We can be open, and maybe we can even see the gift in it, what life is showing us for our expansion, our soul's expansion. We can be thankful for what we're given, and we can recreate our life by making new choices, new thoughts, new words, and new actions. And we can experience things deeper and deeper due to our experiences, our difficult experiences. It allows us to go deeper. So we can be thankful during the process instead of waiting till the difficult time is over and we can look back. We don't have to wait till the end of that particular process or difficult time in our life to look back and be thankful. We can even be thankful during the difficult time, while not necessarily knowing 100% all the benefits we'll gain for the rest of our life from the experience. And this doesn't just apply to the big disasters, it even applies to the smaller events, like missing the bus and not being able to go to the concert, or not being able to visit our family in hospital or something. There's always these things happening for a reason, so maybe we can go through life with more inner acceptance of what is, more gratitude and less attachment. I'll talk another time about attachment in relationships, being attached to people and stuff. So that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Okay, well, talk to you again.